is you have to fight for these eggs. We're gonna go over 5 tips to staying on track while away from home and while I get bit by flies. In this video, a full day of eating for fat loss while away from home. So whether you're traveling on a business trip, you're just on vacation, or you're like me, you're with your girlfriend and you're spending 10 days with her parents at her parents' house. I'll be shooting for 1,600 calories and around 160 grams of protein, but if I don't hit that, I'll put the total on the screen now and it'll probably be in the title of the video as well. And I'm also gonna give you some tips to staying on track while away from home during this. So snack number 1, which you could see me making right here, is going to be just a plain old coffee with 1 Fairlife protein shake and a scoop of creatine. So it's gonna be 150 calories and 30 grams of protein. I love starting my mornings like this. You get some protein in, get some caffeine in, and it's a great way to start the day. All right, meal number 1 is gonna be 480 calories and 62 grams of protein, all in this little cereal bowl. Now, a big tip is I actually forgot my food scale. I was gonna put it in my backpack because it's so small, but I'm using this 1 cup measuring cup to measure out the serving sizes. It's less accurate than the food scale, but this kind of makes it better for the video for you as well. Life isn't perfect. You're gonna make mistakes like I did, not bringing my scale, and instead of not tracking at all, not measuring at all, staying on track with these flies, I'm gonna use something rather than using nothing, which gets rid of the all or nothing mentality, which is a horrible thing if you're trying to be successful long term with your fitness goals. See you for meal number 2.
Yep, good boy.
Now we're about to go get lunch, but what the farmers don't tell you is you have to fight for these eggs. The roosters, the carpenter bees, they're all gonna try to stop you, and you have to use physical violence to get them. Now! Go. Now this is where the chickens lay their eggs. You only want the brown ones because the white ones are bleached, very unhealthy, completely joking. Get that one. Look at that one. Look at that one. Here's 3. We're gonna do 6 for lunch. There's 3 more. Now, we have to go wash the film around them to eat them. Sheen Hall. All right, meal number 2 is going to be 420 calories and 36 grams of protein, whole eggs from their family chicken coop. And now the only meal left for the day is going to be the X Factor meal, the dinner that I don't know any idea what it's going to be or how many calories it's going to be, but I'm just going to guesstimate, estimate, take a decent portion size and try to make it fit and work. That's why I front loaded as much protein, as low calorie as I could go, and some healthy fats with the eggs, of course, but I tried to have as much protein as I possibly could before this X Factor meal because I have no idea how much calories, and I do not believe it's going to be a high protein meal. We're going to go over 5 tips to staying on track while away from home and while I get bit by flies. Tip number 1 is to bring protein supplements. Most of the foods you find while away from home are not going to be protein dense. They're probably going to be calorie dense and moderate to low protein. If you don't have protein powder, I'd recommend Legion or Dymatize. I don't work with Dymatize, but I do work with Legion. So if you'd like to save 20%, use code TEDSHREDS at checkout for 20% off. Tip number 2 is to reduce the X factor meals you have while away from home. If you are going to still try to lose fat, do what I'm doing. Don't leave every meal as an X factor, right? So what does that mean? Go to the grocery store and buy 2 to 3, 4, 5 things and bring protein powder. This ties right into this, right? So you're only having 1, maybe 2 meals max a day that you cannot 100% account for very accurately. Tip number 3 is to expect slower results. When you're trying to lose fat and you're away from home, expect worse or slower results than when you are home and everything's dialed in. If you expect the same results, you're probably going to be very demotivated or devastated when you hop on the scale and compare last week's weigh-ins to this week's weigh-ins and you see not much of a big difference, or maybe you will. But either way, expect slower results because not everything is going to be dialed in like it is when you're at home. Tip number 4 is my favorite one. Maintaining is progress. When's the last time you've been able to maintain progress while away from home? Maybe think back to an old time that you were away from home and you probably just enjoyed and indulged in everything and overdid it into your stuff. Your pants were bulging out, you were sick, you're like, oh, I'm so full. When's the last time you've maintained progress? When's the last time you've maintained progress while out in a situation like that? If you haven't, if you've never done that in your life and you're doing that now, that's huge progress. Bonus tip number 5 is walking. Go on a walk for 30 to 90 minutes a day. It's going to help a ton physically and mentally. Not necessarily to burn calories, it's for heart health, physical health overall, but it is going to burn a little bit of calories as well. That's going to help, but that's not the main point. Here are the 5 tips for staying on track while you're away from home. So dinner is gonna be breakfast pizza, sausage, and pickles. My girlfriend made the breakfast pizza yesterday morning. Super good. I might have to make a recipe on here on YouTube for you. Maybe try to make it a little bit lower calorie and higher protein, but it's super fucking amazing. So again, with meals like this where you don't really know, you didn't make it yourself. I didn't have any packaging for the sausages, and I didn't make the pizza, so I can't know how many calories per slice. You estimate. You go into MyFitnessPal and you guesstimate. So I'm guessing this meal is between 550 to 650 calories. So that makes today's day of eating 1600 to 1700 calories. I don't know. It's in that 100 calorie range and about 160 grams of protein. This is super important that we go back to all those tips that I gave you earlier when you're trying to stay on track while eating out. This is why you should expect slower results, because you're gonna have a lot more variability to your daily intake than you would be if you're at home making these meals. So expect slower results and know that maintaining progress, maintaining results is progress, and that is good enough. So if you enjoyed the video and got value from it, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like the one coming up about how to stay on track while on a road trip, and I'll talk to you soon.